the biggest mistake you're making in today's market. Today on The Brian Murray Show. Welcome to The Brian Murray Show, a real estate show, New Jersey style. And the biggest mistake that you're making in today's market is listening to national data trends. The fact is that every market is local and every market data point should be local to what your situation is. You see market reports from the big players in the industry, those companies with lots and lots of agents, tens of thousands of agents, and they give you local data, market data reports from, say, Hoboken and Jersey City. Even those are too big for what you need as a buyer or as a seller. On my show, I do weekly market data reports, not monthly, weekly, the way this market is good. It's up 10% in the last 12 weeks. That's almost 1% a week. You think you want to wait 4 weeks to know what's going on in the market? You have $1 million place and you want to lose 4% because you don't know what to price it? You want to buy a home with multiple bids on it and you don't understand that the market's moved up 4% and you're trying to comp it against something else? So that's one piece of it. The second piece of it is what's the data that's really important. Look, I do a full annual report. I also do a quarterly report that's out. And it breaks down the 1, the 2, the 3 of the bedroom markets. That's important. If you are a 2-bedroom seller, what do you care about the whole market? You care about the 2-bedroom market. In fact, if you're a 2-bedroom seller and you have an elevator and a parking space, do you really care about the walk-up? You really care about that place without a parking space? It's not a comp. How did it do? Here's a piece of data that you don't see in those reports. Not in my report you do, but not in those other reports. Median days on market, say in Hoboken, Q1, 11 for those under contract. 11 days under contract, and even that's high because of the time it takes to get under contract. Those are critical numbers as you're going forward. Who cares about solds? Solds are 60 days old. You need to know what's going on right now in your specific local market, in your specific segment. Don't listen to market trends, period. Even interest rates. Interest rates are up, but there are pockets where interest rates haven't moved as high as in the 30-year. The 30 years moved higher than, say, sometimes an ARM. You really have to look at specific targeted segments to understand the information. And that's the biggest mistake that people are making in today's market, and it's leaving them behind. It's leaving them selling their homes for less. It's leaving them homeless because they can't win a bidding war. Please reach out to me if you have questions. This is Brian Murray with the Hoboken, Jersey City Market Report, April 5th, 2022. As you can see, the market is still robust. There are still very few homes for sale. Hoboken's got 122 condos available, Jersey City 143. As that turns into months of inventory, it's just over 1 month in Hoboken and just over 2 months in Jersey City. Well, this wasn't the lowest amount in both markets. It is very near close to the lowest amounts in both markets. It's still very, very, very tight. Very, very, very much a seller's market. You can take a look at what's happening to the ask to sold price. No surprise. It's about 100%. I predicted that once those sold started coming in from January, you're going to start to see 100%. Watch over the next month or so. It's going to be over 100% in a lot of cases. But the key stat to pay attention to is one that's not on here. In Q1 2022, of the homes that went under contract in Hoboken, for example, the median days on market were 11. That means half of the homes were under contract in less than 11 days. And when you take out the time for a highest and best in signing the contracts and putting the information into the MLS, it's probably closer to 3, 4, 5 days that those homes were on the market. Half of the homes were on the market. 3, 4, 5, 6 days. Half of the homes. That means multiple bid situations. That means if you went away for a weekend, you missed it. So that's really what's going on in today's market. Interest rates are up. Prices are up about 10% across the board in Q1. There are still very few homes for sale. And the reason for that is it's a stuck market. Those 2-bedroom move-up buyers don't have a 3-bedroom to move into. Those 2-bedroom move-out buyers don't have a home in the burbs because all of that inventory and excess inventory was taken over the last couple of years. So when a home does come on the market, there's many buyers for it, and everybody needs a place to live. Whether they're adding a 2nd bedroom because they need a home from work, home, office, or they're expanding their family, which has been traditionally the case. There's a lot more buyers for a lot more properties right now. If you have specific questions about a specific market segment and how it's performed and how it's likely to perform in the near future, please reach out to me directly. This is Brian Murray for the Hoboken and Jersey City Market Report, April 5th, 2022. The good, the bad, the ugly, April 5th edition. So for those of you who have seen my interview with Tony Maggiata, you'll understand this bottle of wine. So Tony is a local wine importer of Italian wines, artisanal Italian wines. Like this bottle here, there's only 6,000 of these bottles that are made in the vintage year for this particular wine. That is artisanal versus millions of bottles of some of the well-known brands that you drink on a regular basis. So Tony is an example of the good, where it's a local person that does a really cool thing that you might not even know. Like Tony's wines can be found at Cork here in Hoboken, and you might walk by them and not even know that, hey, it's a Hoboken guy who brings these wines, imports them from Italy. He goes over to Italy, meets with the growers. They're like usually these like mom and pop growers that been in the business for generations. They pick the grapes by hand. He knows them. He meets them. He understands how they're processed, how it's bottled, and everything else. You don't get that in the big vineyards. So you walk by a bottle like this, and this represents a small business owner here in the community. So that's the good. The bad is sometimes you don't know what those great products are or those great businesses are, because they're really word of mouth. How many places are there at the Monroe Arts Center, for instance, that have great little local businesses in them that, if they're not on the retail level and you don't have kids that go to something over there, you might not ever know. I can tell you that the Newman Leather Factory has lots of cool artists in there, Grammy award-winning producers, and all kinds of great artists that music and painting and all kinds of things. And the ugly is that as much as Hoboken had and Jersey City had a great booming artist community at one point, economics has, like in a lot of other places, has shriveled that up because they just can't afford the space anymore. Now some of that's changing, like Toll Brothers is doing something downtown Jersey City next to their new 10 Provost building, a new building that's going to have some work, live, artist lofts specifically for artists to keep the community within the community. But there's pluses and minuses to all of this, that as a community grows and gentrifies, and that some of the things that made it really unique end up getting pushed out, and that's the ugly. So that's the good, the bad, the ugly. I'm going to leave you with a quote today. Napoleon Hill: positive and negative emotions cannot occupy the mind at the same time. So that's kind of the good and the bad and the ugly, right? Can't have the good and the bad and the ugly all in your head at the same time. Can't feel them all. So thank you so much for watching The Brian Murray Show. As always, all episodes of The Brian Murray Show can be found on the blog section of the website, the murraypropertygroup.com website. Please go there. Check out the weekly market reports, the new Q1 report for 2022, all of the episodes of the show, my TikTok, my Daily Pro Realtor Tip TikToks. Like me, share me, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Google My Business, a great place to leave me a review. Google My Business. If you like the show, I ask you one favor, just go there and leave me a quick review of the show. And I'm happy to respond to all of your comments. I do love them, so keep them coming. And as always, if there's anything that you disagree with, reach out to me directly, and I'll show you why you're wrong. Thanks for watching.